David Cameron. A journey through personal life and political career. David Cameron, a name etched in the annals of British political history, is a figure whose career has been marked by significant events and profound impacts. From his early life in a privileged background to the highest office of Prime Minister, Cameron's journey is one of ambition, leadership, and controversy. This blog post delves into his personal life, his ascent in politics, his tenure as Prime Minister, his role in the Brexit referendum, and its lasting impact on the British people. David William Donald Cameron was born on October 9, 1966, in Marylebone, London, into a wealthy and influential family. His father, Ian Cameron, was a successful stockbroker, and his mother, Mary Fleur, was the daughter of Sir William Mount, 2nd Baronet. Growing up in a family with deep roots in finance and aristocracy, Cameron was exposed to a world of privilege from an early age. Cameron's education was equally privileged. He attended Heatherdown School, a preparatory school, before moving on to Eton College, one of the most prestigious private schools in the UK. His time at Eton, where he was a contemporary of Prince Edward, was marked by academic success and involvement in extracurricular activities. Cameron then went on to study philosophy, politics, and economics, PPE, at Brasenose College, Oxford, where he achieved a first-class degree. Cameron's political career began shortly after his graduation. He joined the Conservative Research Department, CRD, in 1988, where he worked under Norman Lamont and later Michael Howard. His time at the CRD was a formative period, allowing him to hone his skills in policy analysis and political strategy. In 1991, he became a special advisor to Norman Lamont, who was then the Chancellor of the Exchequer. This role gave Cameron a front-row seat to the economic challenges of the early 1990s, including Black Wednesday in 1992, when the UK was forced to exit the European exchange rate mechanism. In 1992, Cameron married Samantha Sheffield, a businesswoman and daughter of Sir Reginald Sheffield, 8th Baronet. The couple has 4 children, Ivan, Nancy, Arthur, and Florence. Tragically, their firstborn Ivan, who was severely disabled, passed away in 2009, an event that profoundly affected Cameron and his family. Cameron's first foray into parliamentary politics came in 1997, when he stood as the Conservative candidate for Stafford, a Labour stronghold. Although he lost, his performance was promising. In 2001, he successfully contested the seat of Witney in Oxfordshire, entering the House of Commons. As a backbencher, Cameron quickly made a name for himself with his eloquence and grasp of policy details. He served on the Home Affairs Select Committee and was appointed to the Shadow Cabinet as the Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party in 2003. His rapid rise through the ranks was indicative of his political acumen and ambition. In 2005, following the resignation of Michael Howard, Cameron ran for the leadership of the Conservative Party. His campaign was marked by a focus on modernisation and appealing to a broader electorate. Cameron's vision for a more inclusive, environmentally conscious, and socially liberal Conservative Party resonated with many, and he was elected leader on December 6, 2005. As leader, Cameron sought to reposition the Conservative Party as a centrist force. He emphasized issues such as climate change, public service reform, and social justice. His leadership style, characterized by pragmatism and a willingness to embrace change, helped rejuvenate the party's image and broaden its appeal. The 2010 general election was a pivotal moment for Cameron and the Conservative Party. The election resulted in a hung parliament, and Cameron entered into a coalition with the Liberal Democrats, led by Nick Clegg. On May 11, 2010, David Cameron became the youngest Prime Minister since Lord Liverpool in 1812. Cameron's premiership was marked by significant domestic policies and reforms. His government's primary focus was on economic recovery following the 2008 financial crisis. Austerity measures were implemented to reduce the budget deficit, involving cuts to public spending and welfare reforms. These measures were controversial, with supporters arguing they were necessary for fiscal stability, while critics claimed they disproportionately affected the most vulnerable. Education reform was another key area of Cameron's domestic agenda. The introduction of free schools and the expansion of academies aimed to increase parental choice and improve educational standards. Health reforms, particularly the restructuring of the National Health Service, NHS, were also pursued, though they faced considerable opposition and debate. In foreign policy, Cameron's tenure was characterized by active engagement on the global stage. He supported military intervention in Libya in 2011, which led to the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi. However, the subsequent instability in Libya and the rise of extremist groups cast a shadow over the intervention's long-term success. Cameron also sought to strengthen the UK's relationship with emerging economies, including China and India, promoting trade and investment. His approach to the European Union, EU, was more ambivalent. While advocating for EU reform, he faced growing pressure from Eurosceptic elements within his party and the rise of the UK Independence Party, UKIP, which pushed for a more confrontational stance towards the EU. The most defining and contentious aspect of Cameron's political career was undoubtedly the Brexit referendum. Euroscepticism had been a persistent issue within the Conservative Party, and pressure for a referendum on the UK's membership in the EU had been mounting for years. In January 2013, Cameron promised to hold an in-out referendum on EU membership if the Conservatives won the 2015 general election. The 2015 general election resulted in a surprise victory for the Conservative Party, giving Cameron a majority government and a mandate to deliver on his referendum promise. The referendum was scheduled for June 23, 2016, and Cameron campaigned vigorously for the UK to remain in the EU. The campaign was highly polarised. The Remain side, supported by Cameron, emphasised the economic risks of leaving the EU, the benefits of EU membership, and the potential for reform within the EU. The Leave campaign, led by figures such as Boris Johnson and Michael Gove, focused on issues of sovereignty, immigration, and the perceived democratic deficit within the EU. On June 23, 2016, the British public voted to leave the EU by a margin of 52% to 48%. The result was a seismic shock to the political establishment and had immediate and profound implications. Cameron, having staked his political future on a Remain victory, announced his resignation as Prime Minister the following day. In his resignation speech, he acknowledged that fresh leadership was required to navigate the country through the Brexit process. The Brexit referendum and Cameron's subsequent resignation ushered in a period of significant political and economic uncertainty. Theresa May succeeded Cameron as Prime Minister and was tasked with negotiating the terms of the UK's withdrawal from the EU. The process proved to be complex and fraught with challenges, leading to years of political turmoil and debate. The impact of the Brexit referendum on the British people has been profound and multifaceted. Economically, the immediate aftermath saw a sharp decline in the value of the pound and increased uncertainty in financial markets. Longer-term economic impacts remain a subject of debate, with concerns about trade, investment, and economic growth. Politically, Brexit has reshaped the landscape of British politics. The referendum exposed deep divisions within the country, between different regions, generations, and social classes. These divisions have influenced subsequent elections and political discourse, contributing to a more polarized and fragmented political environment. Socially, Brexit has had significant implications for immigration, identity, and the UK's relationship with the rest of Europe. The debate over immigration, which was a central issue in the referendum, has continued to be a contentious topic. The question of national identity and the UK's place in the world has also been a source of ongoing reflection and debate. After leaving office, Cameron largely stepped back from frontline politics. He published his memoirs, For the Record, in 2019, providing his perspective on his political career and the events leading up to the Brexit referendum. Cameron has also been involved in various charitable and business ventures, including roles with the National Citizen Service and advisory positions in the private sector. Cameron's legacy remains a topic of considerable debate. Supporters point to his modernizing influence on the Conservative Party, his economic management during a period of global crisis, and his commitment to social issues. Critics, however, focus on the divisiveness of the Brexit referendum, the social impact of austerity measures, and the long-term consequences of his policies. David Cameron's personal life and political career are a study in contrasts. From a privileged upbringing to the pressures of political leadership, his journey reflects both ambition and controversy. His tenure as Prime Minister was marked by significant domestic and international events, but it is his role in the Brexit referendum that will likely define his legacy. The Brexit referendum and its aftermath have had a profound and lasting impact on the UK, shaping the country's political, economic, and social landscape. Cameron's decision to call the referendum, driven by internal party pressures and broader political dynamics, set in motion a series of events that continue to unfold. In the final analysis, David Cameron's career offers valuable lessons on leadership, decision-making, and the complexities of modern governance. His tenure as Prime Minister was marked by significant domestic and international events, but it is his role in the Brexit referendum that will likely define his legacy. The Brexit referendum and its aftermath have had a profound and lasting impact on the UK, shaping the country's political, economic, and social landscape. Cameron's decision to call the referendum, driven by internal party pressures and broader political dynamics, set in motion a series of events that continue to unfold. In the final analysis, David Cameron's career offers valuable lessons on leadership, decision-making, and the complexities of modern governance. His story is a reminder of the delicate balance between political ambition and the broader consequences of policy choices, a balance that every leader must navigate with care and foresight. This video is for educational purposes only. It is unbiased and does not represent personal views or opinions and is not affiliated with any political party. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Delving into the Deep for regular updates.